Hello and welcome. Welcome to another episode of Marty's Menitations. If you're a new listener, thanks for joining. Thanks for hopping on this spaceship. There's plenty of room for you. Just find a spot, get cozy. We already went to space once. That was the last episode. The Penis Part 3. Guns. And yes, it was just as risque as it sounds. But Marty's a rebel in that way. Marty really likes to push the limits. So if you're new to this show and you enjoy this meditation, then maybe you want to explore some meditations of the past. Don't worry. Those will always be available. Marty doesn't like to hold information back like the government does. So you don't have to go there now. You can get cozy here in this spaceship for this special journey and visit those other meditations when you're ready. So grab a pillow, grab a blanket, get all cozy here on my spaceship. If you're an old listener, thanks for coming back. It's great to see familiar faces. I guess I've never seen your faces, but I can sense your spirits, your energy. I can feel them. So I guess familiar energies is a more accurate way to put it. But I can imagine some faces in my brain space, and it might be your face, the listener that is listening right now. I could be imagining your face, and wouldn't it be strange if I was imagining it accurately? Marty might have that kind of spiritual capability. So you old listeners, thanks for coming back. I saved you a spot on this spaceship too. Maybe you didn't listen to the first episode of this new cycle and you're going, Marty, what's with this spaceship? I thought we were on a boat. I thought we were traveling the ocean. Traversing the ocean of the unknown. Don't worry, we upgraded from a boat to a spaceship. We're going to space now. We're going out into the great unknown. To the void of space to encounter bigger questions. Right? And I reserved you a spot. Just catching you up, okay? So welcome back. If by the end of this meditation, you feel your soul has been challenged, that you've had a fulfilling and meaningful experience in this space that Marty has created, then please consider becoming a monthly donor. Become a martyr for manhood by visiting Marty's Patreon page at patreon.com/Marty's Minute Meditations. Or if you're too afraid to make a commitment, Marty understands, okay? Marty gets it. Maybe you go, well, if I sign up to his Patreon page, he's going to think I'm interested in him, right? He's going to think that, I have feelings that aren't necessarily, like, Marty's cool. I like him, but I don't want to give him the wrong impression. Marty gets it. That's why Marty started a PayPal account and a Buy Me a Coffee account. All of those links will be in the description, so you can explore those in your own time and space. There's no pressure there. Marty doesn't like to pressure anybody. Remember what Marty said earlier. He doesn't like to hold back information like the government. But he also doesn't get paid like the government. I guess it pays to hold back information. Maybe I should do that. Maybe Marty should just restrict all of the spiritual information he has, kind of like how the government restricts money and help to those in need, even though they have the resources and say they're for the people. What do they get paid, huh? If I don't cleanse people of the negativity in their lives, do you think Marty gets paid? No, he doesn't. He actually doesn't get paid if he does cleanse you of the negative energy. It's not about me. It's not about Marty. It's about the government and how they get paid even though they don't do their jobs. Our taxes pay for their salaries. Maybe we should stop paying taxes, right? Like maybe that's the way... I'm sorry. Marty's putting a lot of foul energy into the space. And it was just so positive to start. Let me just take a breath and focus in. Boy, the government really gets Marty heated. Where was I? Right. So consider supporting my meditations. And if you don't, Marty won't be upset. As long as you're receiving something from me, I know that energy will cycle back. It's bound to someday, right? Maybe you end up telling your friends about my meditations, or some family members. That's also a way to support Marty. Now, with all that being said, let's begin today's episode of Marty's Minute Menitations. How is your 2020? Are you ready for the new year? Are you ready for 2021? I'm sure a lot of you out there are going, Marty, are you kidding? Anything would be better than 2020. Anything. God, what an awful year it's been, Marty. Why would you even ask that question? Of course I'm ready for 2021. Marty, why would you bring it up? Are you being silly right now? How was your 2020, Marty? Was it great fun? Because it wasn't for me, Marty. Maybe you should stop and think before you ask such a silly question. Whoa. Just because it's a question that makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean it's a question that makes you unsafe. Marty thinks you're brave enough to ask yourself that question. Don't let society make you scared of this very important question. Don't let society make you weak, okay? Marty thinks you're strong. He thinks you're brave. He's not going to coddle you, okay, especially with this new year. I mean, maybe you didn't get things done this past year and you're coming on to Marty's Minute Meditations thinking, oh, Marty will make me feel okay for being a failure this year, right? Marty's just going to go, oh, it's okay. Marty understands. Marty gets it. Maybe he'll say something gentle and profound like Marty understands. It's hard to turn things around for yourself when it feels like this big old planet of ours is cycling in the opposite direction. How do you compete against the planet? But no, Marty's not playing that game today. Marty's trying to be a new man for the new year too. And he realizes that he let his listeners down by not being as hard as he could be. What gets in the way of you becoming a new man for the new year? Or a new woman? Or a new non-gender conforming individual? Maybe it's not the year. Maybe it's you. That's right. Marty's taking the gloves off today. He's putting them down. He's putting them on his desk and he's showing you his fists, all right? His strong and manly fists. The knuckles may have dry skin and the fingers might be small, but they're fists, darn it, all right? You know, the change of the year doesn't change the circumstances in which we're living. Whoa, Marty, I know. I'm saying something very controversial. For all of you individuals who like to celebrate the new year, right? Who put a lot of weight into the new year, who think that once the year changes, there's some cosmic shift. You're probably deeply offended. You're probably going, Marty, how dare you say that? How dare you say that a new year doesn't bring a cosmic shift, a new opportunity? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we may enter a new year, but we're still the same person, in the same world, in the same reality, trapped. When the clock strikes midnight and the new year arrives, we don't walk through a membrane that takes us to a new space and time. To those of you who think that way, you may be disappointed. We'll get into 2021 and it may feel like 2020 is just happening all over again. You'll go, well, what? I thought everything was going to change. I thought things were going to be better. I thought we had entered a new cycle. Does the cycle come to you on a calendar? Does it have a deadline? How easily we corporatize our spirituality. 2020 is the deadline for my joy to manifest itself. It should be on my desk at midnight on January 1st. What happens if that joy doesn't arrive on your desk on time? Does someone lose their job because your joy didn't manifest itself on the date you intended? Whose fault is that? It's so easy to put the blame on the year. Maybe you didn't turn everything around in 2020, and that's why you feel that pressure. That's why you had that calendar. Maybe you circled the date and you went, this is when it's all going to change. But it didn't. And now you're upset about that. Now you're saying, you know what, Marty? I don't want to talk about this last year. You know, things got really serious and I didn't pick up knitting. I was too stressed to knit, and the thought of knitting stressed me out. So no, I didn't pick up knitting, all right? Maybe you planned on working out more. That didn't happen because of 2020, right? 2020. How easy it is to blame a year. Maybe you wanted to change up your diet, just eat a bit healthier. Get rid of all that fast food, greasy food, but 2020 happened. Oh, geez. You put the blame on the year. Maybe you wanted to talk to your loved ones more, especially since you had that awful and emotionally charged argument at your grandmother's birthday. And maybe, you made a scene after everyone told you to be quiet because your family doesn't understand the importance of discussing the lingam. And they're just brain soiled into thinking the lingam is something threatening, so when you mentioned it at your grandmother's 96th birthday party, they all acted so offended, when I should have been the one who was offended by their disgust of the penis. Sorry, Grandma, I thought when you were talking about losing Grandpa to testicular cancer, it was an open invitation to discuss our naturally given genitalia. I thought we were opening the space for a very important discussion, but apparently it was all about you. But we all have to forgive, right? And so for the past year, maybe it was my journey, my path to reopen communication with my family. Once again, it's up to Marty. Now, did Marty put forth the energy to do that? Did Marty start up a conversation with his grandmother again? Did he take that path of opening up communication and understanding? Is he now close with his grandmother, talking to her on FaceTime about what it was like in her time? What was it like in the 50s, Grandma? Oh, it was like this. Ooh, that sounds fun. I'd really like to go to the pop shop. I'd love to experience that time back in the day in the 50s. Did Marty turn it around so that now we're exchanging photos of our lemon meringue pies and making sure she knows that I love and appreciate her? Did he put his pride aside and open himself up to a fresh relationship? No, because Gammy died. Now, Marty could blame the year, right? He could go, oh, that darn 2020. But he's not going to do that. He's not going to fall that way. Because we still get caught in it. We still say things like, 2021, everything's going to change. I'll be happy. I'll finally be happy in 2021. That's when it's going to happen. Once that clock strikes midnight, boom, my joy will be manifest. Is it? Is it going to happen? Or by the time February rolls around, are you going, well, 2021's done for me. Can't wait for 2022. That's when it will all turn around for me. That's when it will all change. That's what you tell yourself to avoid feeling like garbage. Well, Marty's here to tell you, maybe you should feel like garbage. That's right. Marty's taking the gloves off. Marty's not playing this game. Marty's not going to play the soft, gentle Marty, right? He's a new man for the new year. He needs to put in the work. He doesn't believe 2021 is going to change him. He has to change 2021. He's going to go and get it. So let's talk about motivation. Yeah, you're hearing a new Marty, all right? What is motivation, We see motivation as this ethereal thing. We say, oh, if only I could just find the motivation, then I would be able to do this thing and I would feel happy. And old Marty would go, motivation's whatever you want it to be. And sometimes it's there and sometimes it isn't. And if it isn't there, don't be hard on yourself. No, Marty's not playing that little wishy-washy game anymore. It's time to go out and find that motivation. Where is it? Where do you find it? Where's this great motivation hiding that you seek? If I could just find it. Did I leave it in the car? Is it underneath the bed? Is it trapped back there in the fridge behind all that stuff that's expired? First of all, why do you still have expired stuff in the fridge? It says it expired in 2019. Did you not have the motivation this whole year to get off your butt and get rid of it? Or maybe you threw it all out. You threw out all that expired stuff and the motivation went into the trash with it. Well, here's the deal. Motivation doesn't expire. So you just threw out perfectly good motivation. Maybe you're like, Marty, of course I want to do the thing that I want to do. It's just not enough. It doesn't get my body moving. Why? Why doesn't your body get into action when it wants to do stuff? Isn't that scary? When you were a child, you just got up and went outside and did it. You didn't go, I don't know, where's my motivation, right? Billy, what do you want to do today? Well, I was going to go outside and play. Well, why aren't you out there? I just can't find the motivation. Poor Billy. Poor Billy. He's 7 years old, and he can't find the motivation. That's scary. It's a scary thing. And so what do we do with poor Billy? We medicate him so he can find that motivation. When he's a child, he's a natural child. He's a natural human being who's filled with natural motivation. But what happened? Now you may be going, Marty, not all of us are lucky. We can't all find the motivation under our bed, right? In the back of the refrigerator, right? We're not privileged like that. Marty understands. Marty gets it. But he can't coddle you through this, right? What good would Marty do if he coddled you through it? When Marty was looking for motivation, when Marty wanted to become a new man for the new year, because everything he set out to do in 2020 he didn't accomplish, he had to go and seek some other knowledge. He had to find it somewhere else. So where did he go to get it? Did he go to the library, reading the words of the great thinkers of the past? Did he sit in a church, an ashram, or a temple to receive the words of some higher power? No. Marty turned to the more practical and honest gurus of our time, and he started watching all of those great gurus on YouTube. Not that Marty wants to be like them, but their message was far more relatable and true than any great philosopher or theology could give. Those great gurus said things that Marty could latch onto. They said things like, go and get it. Stop being a baby. Don't be a victim and become a monster. Become a winner. No excuses. No excuses. That's what all those big and dominant alpha male gurus said. The ones that are, bigger and stronger than Marty. They have the chiseled jaw and they're far more successful than Marty. They have multiple businesses, they're entrepreneurs. They have so many views and listens because, I guess they speak words that reverberate through our time and strike us in our hearts. Not that Marty wants to be that. He could if he wanted to, right? But he doesn't need to be that. Because Marty has his meditations. He has his way of helping people, of reaching out to people, all right? I'm sorry, Marty can't do this. Marty can't try to be somebody he's not, okay? That new man for the new year that Marty wants to be, that's a different man. That's not a man that Marty is, okay? He tried, Gammy. Gammy, he tried. And he knows. Marty knows that Gammy would really respect Marty if he was a stronger, harder man. But what does that mean? Hard. Stay hard. That's one that Marty heard all the time from the YouTube gurus, right? And Marty tried to stay hard. He tried. He tried for a long time, but for us men, staying hard is not only very difficult, but very painful. It hurts to stay hard. Do these male self-help gurus expect us to be superhuman and be hard all the time? What, are the erection police out there making sure I'm staying hard? Taking tabs on all the men to make sure that their lingams are stiff as rocks? Are they walking around with tape measurers? Likes to make sure you're staying hard? And then you look down and you're sad and ashamed you aren't hard all the time. You're not really going and getting it. Is it physically possible to stay hard all the time? Do all these YouTube influencers stay hard? I'd like to see their erection police report to see if they're always hard all the time, right? Should you feel bad if you aren't hard all the time? Well, Marty doesn't want you to feel bad. Maybe you were hard all day and you come home and maybe you just want to be flaccid for just a moment, just a breath. So maybe all those great YouTube gurus just want you to feel like garbage. You just want to be a new man, right? A new person. So for today's meditation, for the final meditation of 2020, I want you to allow Marty to be that man that he tried to be in the beginning of this episode. I know you may be like, ooh, we don't really like that Marty. We like the fun, spiritual, touchy-feely kind of Marty. I get it. To become a new man for the new year doesn't mean a complete transformation. It just means finding a new important part of yourself that maybe you weren't using before, right? That's interesting. So for this moment, for this meditation, allow Marty to be that hard Marty that he tried to be in the beginning. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. You are garbage. You're garbage in a landfill. It's the middle of the night. And you're just amongst all this other garbage. It smells and it's crowded. It's dark. It's scary, right? It's scary to be garbage. You can't be in denial about it. You can't lie in a landfill and go, I'm not garbage. Because then all the other garbages, they start going, well, I'm not garbage either. Right? I'm so much better than that. What kind of garbage are you? Are you broccoli stalks that were just chopped off and thrown into the garbage? We don't need you, right? Broccoli stalks just laying in the landfill. Or maybe you're just a box that toothpaste came in. Or you're all nice and clean and untouched. And then someone bought you, opened you up, pulled out the thing that actually means something, and they just threw you in the trash. Now you're garbage. Garbage in a landfill. Maybe you're a wad of paper towels that some health nut used to clean up their spilled beet juice, right? Just some wad that they just threw together, cleaned it up, and threw you out without caring about your soul, your spirit. Did someone throw you in the garbage? Is that why you're garbage right now? It's okay. It's okay to be garbage. Maybe you threw yourself out. Maybe that's why you're laying in this landfill. It's okay to be garbage for this moment. Maybe nighttime. You may feel crowded and scared in this landfill. But the sun is rising. It's a new day, right? You feel that warmth on you. Whatever piece of garbage you are, right? Whatever you may be. Maybe you're a book that someone just didn't know what to do with. They couldn't sell you. They couldn't get rid of you, so they just threw you out, right? Maybe you're packed with knowledge. Maybe you're an encyclopedia that was thrown out. Or maybe you don't have that much going for you, maybe you're a romance novel that even people who are a fan of romance novels don't read. Now you're in the garbage. Now you're in that landfill. But that sun is rising and it's warming you. It's heating you up. It's a new day. as that sun beats down on you, you feel yourself coming apart. You start to decompose. And everything you were, every memory you had, starts to come apart. Then what happens? Everything you were feeds the land underneath it. The sun, the rain, it all breaks you down. It massages you into something else so that you can become something new, something fresh. You don't forget what you were. No, because everything you were helped build what you now are. Allow yourself, as once garbage, to become something new and useful. Everything breaks down over time and feeds the new. So yeah, be garbage. If you feel bad about the last year, that's okay. But remember that even garbage, which was something useful, maybe it was something a lot prettier or nicer, even that garbage can fall apart and become something new that has a beauty of its own. What are you gonna be for the new year? What will you decompose and be reborn into? That's not up to the year. It's up to you. Thank you for joining Marty on this last meditation of 2020. And as the new year comes, and we all experience the cosmic shift born of our own volition, he hopes to see you in the coming year, stronger, healthier, and more compassionate. Until then, Marty will be here, waiting, ready to meditate.